Well, it's time now to look at some of the cultural consequences of the war in Ukraine. Olivia Salazar-Winspear is with me from our culture desk. Olivia, we've been seeing a wave of boycotts of Russian artists and of productions in Europe, but there have also been statements from Russians opposing the war. What can you tell us?
Yeah, indeed, and most notably Russians abroad, I must say. For example, Vladimir Jurowski, the musical director of the Bavarian National Opera, replaced the Slavonic March by Tchaikovsky, a Russian composer, with the Ukrainian national anthem at a concert recently. Berlin's Philharmonic, Kirill Petrenko, the Russian musical director, spoke out against what he calls a violation of human rights. And in Moscow, Elena Kovalskaya went one step further, resigning from the Vsevolod Meyerhold Cultural Center, saying that she could not receive her salary from who she called a murderer. Now, when it comes to cultural activism here in France, we've been speaking to Lucy Borelowitz, director of a public theatre in Normandy. She signed an open letter condemning events in Ukraine at the moment. She's offering practical help to Ukrainian artists who make their way to France. She did also speak of the need for more mobilization within the cultural sector in Russia. Let's hear from her.
When it comes to Russia, I have a Russian family background myself. So I'm in very close contact with artists in the country, with the cultural sector and the intellectual sector. Yes, activism could have been more widespread, but there were protests that took place in St. Petersburg and Moscow, despite being banned by authorities. But yes, it's essential that the intelligentsia speaks out. I read an interview yesterday with the theatre director Liev Dodin, who said that Russian intellectuals need to be more outspoken. They can't stay silent on this.
And Liev Dodin, who Lucy mentions there, is a director of the Mali Drama Theatre in St. Petersburg, which is a state institution.
And those measures will be impacting not just Russian artists right now, Olivia, but Russian cinema goers as well, because certain films are effectively being pulled from movie theatres in Russia.
Yeah, and this is not just some independent filmmakers taking a stand. We're talking about Warner Brothers and Sony, who are pausing all theatrical releases in Russia until the conflict stops. That means Russians will not be getting the new Batman film, which is distributed by Warner Brothers, nor the new Marvel film Morbius, starring Jared Leto. Disney had already made that decision when it came to the Russian release of the latest Pixar movie, Turning Red. It stars Sandra Oh and Rosalie Chiang as the voice actors. You can see the poster for it there. That was quite a last-minute call, actually. The producers of the film discovered the day before the premiere in Los Angeles that it was happening. Let's hear from them.
We found out yesterday that it wasn't going to, and given the news that's happening right now, I have to say, how could we? Yeah. It's like, this is not the time, obviously, and I think there is a responsibility to some extent, and I'm glad that Disney is taking it.
And staying with the film industry, Olivia, there's been pressure on festivals and cultural institutions to boycott Russian films and directors. How's that panning out?
Well, it's actually already underway at the Glasgow Film Festival, which is taking place. They've withdrawn 2 Russian features, saying it would be inappropriate to screen them right now. And the Cannes Film Festival here in France put out a statement saying that they would not accept Russian delegations nor individuals linked to the Kremlin at the festival in May unless the assault on Ukraine ends. It is important, however, to point out that Cannes didn't rule out accepting Russian films. Independent Russian filmmakers have long been a feature of Cannes, and in recent years, some of the top prizes have gone to Russian directors like Kirill Serebrennikov, Andrei Zhyagintsev, Kirov Kovalenko, and Kantemir Balagov. Now, these high-profile Russian productions almost always receive state funding via the official body Roskino, which promotes both commercial blockbusters and art house movies. And yes, that does include films that are not super friendly to the Putin administration. And of course, it's these independent voices that have got some people worried, because some people are saying that it's actually very harmful to boycott artists who, in the majority, did not vote for Vladimir Putin and are against this war. One anonymous Russian producer said that this is basically silencing these voices of opposition and making them suffer the consequences of politicians who they didn't vote for. Now, one interesting approach I thought came from the Venice Film Festival, who said that they're just going to put Ukrainian cinema in the spotlight. They're organising free screenings of Valentin Vazianovich's film Reflection. That's a drama which deals with the conflict in the Donbass region. Here's a quick taste of the film.
Чому ти плачеш?
Його ніде не можуть знайти.
Може, ти що знаєш? Ти знаєш, що буддисти відносяться до тіла як до тюрми. І коли душа йде з тіла, то спалюють його як непотрібні речі.
Я в цю маячню не вірю.
А якщо душа так і дійсно існує?
Мама, чого ти тоді не їдеш на війну?
And so, if you are in Italy, those free screenings of the film Reflection are taking place next week in Rome, Milan, and Venice.
Olivia Salazar-Winspear, thank you very much. Well, it's time for a short break from us here in the newsroom. Do stay tuned, though. There'll be more news and analysis on the war in Ukraine coming up just after this.